Trashing Paradise by Roxana Khan. Trashing Paradise. Close your eyes and imagine yourself on the tropical island of Bali, in Indonesia. Picture blue skies and palm trees. Think of white sand that runs through your fingers like powder. The smell of orchids and coconuts mingles with the gentle breeze from the Indian Ocean. Gigantic aqua waves curl offshore. People swim, surf, snorkel, and soak in the tropical vibes. That's the Bali many people see in their mind's eye. It's the Bali that existed for most of the island's history. Now picture another version of Bali. This one is marred by trash. Waste is piled high on roadsides. It floats in the aqua ocean and washes up on white sand beaches. The smell of garbage replaces the scent of flowers. Unfortunately, this is the reality of Bali today. Garbage, particularly in the form of plastic waste, is turning this one-time paradise into an environmental nightmare. For most of its history, Bali really was a paradise. The Balinese people created little or no trash. They used cloth bags to carry what they needed. They used banana leaves, coconut shells, and other natural items as wrappings and plates for their food. Most of what they threw out was biodegradable. That means it's decomposed or rotted. It didn't create pollution. Bali's environment was in balance. Then convenience came to Bali. It came in the form of disposable plastic containers, plastic bags, and other non-biodegradable products. Soon everyone was drinking from plastic bottles. Store clerks were putting even the smallest purchases, say a pack of chewing gum, into its own plastic bag. The same thing was happening all around the world, of course, including the United States. Plastic, in particular, proved hard to resist. It's durable, lightweight, and waterproof. Almost overnight, plastic bags became a basic convenience of modern life. Few knew about or took the time to ask about the consequences of convenience. Plastic is made from chemicals. Scientists take the chemicals from crude oil found deep inside the ground. Then they change the chemicals through reactions with other chemicals. That's how they make polyurethane and other types of plastic. To make plastic bags, polyurethane is formed into pellets. Then the pellets are melted into a thin film. Machines cut the film into bags. The problem is that all plastics are different from anything that occurs in nature. That means nature doesn't have an easy way to break them down. In fact, it can take hundreds or thousands of years for plastic to biodegrade, and in some cases, it never does. Disposable plastic items do not break down the way objects made of natural materials do. For several reasons, Bali has felt the effects of this increase in the use of plastic more harshly and more visibly than many other places. One reason is that Bali is a small island. At a little more than 2,000 square miles, it's about the size of the state of Delaware. Someone could easily drive around the whole island in a day. Trash can pile up quickly in such a small place. Another reason is that the Balinese are used to disposing of things by simply dropping them on the ground. When people carried food and banana leaves, this was fine. A dropped banana leaf soon breaks down and mixes with the soil. A dropped plastic container won't. However, long-standing habits are hard to break. In addition, many people simply don't consider the damage they're doing to the environment. Tourists are a third reason for the trash problem. A huge reason. More than 3 million tourists visit Bali each year. They account for a large percentage of the hundreds of tons of plastic waste the island produces each day. They drink from countless plastic bottles or plastic bags. Many small restaurants serve soft drinks in plastic bags with straws for convenience. They get takeout food in plastic containers. They carry souvenirs in plastic bags. Often, they dispose of their trash thoughtlessly. They drop it out of their rental cars. They leave it sitting on the beach. Because they don't live on Bali, many tourists feel no responsibility to keep the island clean. Then again, there really isn't any good way to dispose of garbage on the island. That's the fourth reason for Bali's trash troubles. According to one source, 75% of rubbish isn't picked up by any trash service. Bali's refuge collection and disposal services simply can't keep up with all the garbage produced by residents and tourists. How much garbage? According to the nonprofit ROLE, Rivers, Oceans, Lands Ecology, an Indonesian organization that works to protect the environment, the average person on Bali produces about 6 pounds of potentially harmful solid waste per day. That's more than twice as much as the average person in Indonesia's capital city, Jakarta. For the most part, the Balinese, like many other people around the world, have not developed adequate systems for waste management. Instead, they hide or eliminate trash in any way they can. Many Bali businesses, such as hotels and restaurants, burn litter, including plastics, in public places. Bali isn't unique in this practice. Experts estimate that 40% of the world's waste is eliminated through burning. To put it mildly, that's not a safe solution. Plastic products are made of polyethylene, a type of gas. Burning plastic releases toxic chemicals called dioxins into the air, which carries them short or long distances to contaminate both land and water. These toxins are linked to illnesses such as cancer, birth defects, and breathing disorders in both wildlife and people. Burning waste also releases carbon dioxide into the air. Studies link high levels of carbon dioxide to climate change. Other businesses and individuals in Bali simply dump trash in rivers or on the side of the road. In many cases, they don't want to pay the fees required to use legal dumping spots. Without safe, reliable ways to dispose of trash, Bali suffers from the buildup of discarded objects. ROLE reports that every 24 hours, the Balinese dispose of almost 530,000 cubic feet of trash along roadways and illegal dump sites. That's enough waste to fill 6 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Beachside hotels often bury trash under the sand. Soon the tide comes up and washes the trash into the ocean. River trash often heads out to sea too. There it mingles with the trash that is washed or blown into the water from Bali's shore. Much of the trash eventually washes back onto the shore. Some of it will float far from the island, perhaps ending up in the Indian Ocean garbage patch in the North Pacific Ocean. This area of floating trash is at least 2 million square miles in size. About 90% of it is plastic. The patch is one of 5 spread across Earth's oceans. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch resides within this slow-moving zone that allows floating debris to accumulate. The patch's precise size is not known, but some scientists estimate it to be twice the size of Texas. Trash has a deadly effect on marine life. Plastic is the worst offender by far. Plastic doesn't biodegrade in the ocean. Sunlight and waves break some plastic items into smaller and smaller pieces, but they never disappear entirely. These tiny pieces are about the size of the plankton and algae that many sea creatures feed on. When birds or fish consume these plastic bits, they can get sick and die. If people eat the fish that consumes the plastic, they can get sick too. Many animals mistake larger pieces of plastic for food too. Leatherback sea turtles are one example. These turtles have been around for more than 100 million years, but today they are endangered, partially because they mistake plastic bags in the water for jellyfish, their favorite food. When they try to swallow a plastic bag, they suffocate. Scientists also have found traces of plastic in the turtles' eggs. Birds also eat large pieces of plastic, confusing things such as bottle caps with food. Mother birds even mistakenly feed plastic pieces to their babies. Sometimes the bird's stomach fills up with plastic. This signals to the birds that they are full, so they will stop eating real food. Then they starve. Plastic trash can be dangerous to marine life. Seals, manta rays, and black-tipped sharks have all been found with plastic in their stomachs. Plastic bags also wrap around these sea animals so they can't swim. Bags even suffocate the beautiful living coral on the floor of the Indian Ocean. Nature does its share to make Bali's trash problems worse, or at least more obvious. Because Bali is a tropical island, it's greatly affected by the tides and by seasonal weather patterns. During Bali's rainy season, much of the island's trash washes out to sea. Then, during the winter season, from December to February or March, wind, waves, and strong currents drive the trash back to shore. It washes up on the sand or bobs nearby in the water. That's why winter in Bali has come to be known as trash season. The cycle repeats every year. However, the amount of trash that goes out and comes back and gets bigger and bigger. It never goes away entirely. Needless to say, all this garbage is bad for Bali's tourism business. No one wants to swim, snorkel, surf, or sunbathe at trash-infested beaches. A decrease in tourists might help slow the buildup of trash, but it would also damage the island's economy. Much of Bali's economy is based on tourist dollars. Tourists support many stores, restaurants, hotels, and other businesses on the island. Those who fish, whether to feed their families or to make a living, suffer from the trash problem too. Anyone aware of the effects of plastic on fish will hesitate to eat seafood from the waters surrounding Bali. In addition, plastic gets tangled in fishing nets. It also damages boat propellers and other equipment. The Balinese government was slow to address the island's trash problem. It was also seemingly slow to understand the causes. Bali's governor, Bodmanggu Pastika, called the issue a natural phenomenon. He blamed the rains and the tides for the reported cycle of trash washing out and back in again. But he didn't address the problem of where the trash came from in the first place. Understandably, he didn't want to point the finger of blame at tourists or hotels or restaurants or any one group. However, to bring about change, everyone on the island had to become aware of the problem, and they had to understand their role in creating it. Because the government wasn't doing anything, it was up to individuals to take action. In 2013, a pair of sisters named Melody and Isabel Widgeon, then ages 13 and 10, stepped up to help their island. They were appalled by the plastic waste piling up and washing up around them. They wanted to convince people to change their trash-making ways. At first, they weren't sure how to tackle such an enormous issue. Then the girls decided to focus on one crucial part of the problem: plastic bags. In Melody and Isabel's view, the bags were not only deadly, but also entirely unnecessary. The sisters named their project Bye Bye Plastic Bags. They found a group of like-minded kids to work with them. Then they created petitions and developed educational presentations to raise awareness. They spoke at markets and festivals. They held beach cleanup events. They gave out net bags and bags made of recycled newspaper and other organic materials to replace plastic. Then Melody and Isabel made a video to showcase the problem. The nonprofit organization TED, which stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design, saw the video. They contacted the girls and asked them to give a talk in London. The talk was recorded and viewed by people around the world. Melody and Isabel got people to pay attention, and that was the first crucial step to making real change in Bali. The sisters talked to the head of the United Nations and to Jane Goodall, who gave advice about how to grow a network of followers and activists. Finally, they even got the governor of Bali on their side. He signed a pledge that Bali would become plastic bag free by 2018. In 2016, officials at Bali's airport started making sure that tourists weren't bringing plastic bags to the island. Melody and Isabel's project spread from Bali to other parts of Indonesia. Today, Many Indonesian cities are working to eliminate plastic bags. In a number of places, people must pay a fee to get a plastic bag at a store. This policy has proved very effective in getting people to bring their own cloth or recycled bags when they shop. The sisters are now focused on creating an educational book for elementary school students. It will be filled with information about pollution, waste management, and alternatives to plastic bags and other plastic products. Malati noted, change doesn't happen if no one is educated. Many other individuals and organizations are now taking action too. For example, groups of surfers and companies that sell surfing equipment have organized regular beach cleanup days in Bali. In one recent event, they cleaned up more than 1 million pounds of trash from Bali's Kuto Legion, Samanok, Nibaran, and Kinoganam beaches. Other organizations, such as the nonprofit group Bali Focus, are sharing the message, Free Bali from Plastic. They're encouraging both residents and tourists to find alternatives to waste products. Bali Focus and other local organizations are also working to develop better waste management facilities for the island. Individuals can join together and work to make a positive change in the environment. Bali's future depends on the work of these individuals and groups. It also depends on the cooperation of Bali's residents and its visitors. Environmentalists now urge tourists to plan ahead to make their visits as eco-friendly as possible. Before booking a room, for example, tourists should check to make sure their hotel follows proper waste management procedures. Because foreigners shouldn't drink local water, which might make them sick, they should also check to see whether hotels have dispensers for boiled water, which is safe to drink. That way they can avoid buying bottle after bottle of water from the local stores. Every choice and every change, small or large, from refusing a plastic drinking straw to building a new waste treatment facility, can help make Bali a cleaner place to visit and to live. If everyone works together, one day the island may again become a real-life paradise. Thank you for watching. If you would like more books on Bali, please check the link in the description box below. And be sure to check out my next video about information about the trash problem in Bali and the sisters' work to fix it.